Welcome back to the Obsessed With podcast. We are your hosts, Kim and Aaron. We are back on the mic and excited to be back on because we took last week off. So we have so many things to talk about.
I feel like this episode is going to be like a smorgasbord.
And it always is.
No, it always is. But I feel like sometimes
and is it really a smorgasbord?
Smorgasbord.
I don't think it's Borg.
Board. It's board. You're right. It's a smorgasbord.
Yeah.
So it's like an assortment of like a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like I was kind of like thinking about, okay, what do we want to talk about? And I made like a little bit of a list and I was like, oh, kind of goes all over the place, but kind of not. Like, I feel like that's our vibe. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's start with, we still have a couple of spots left for the wine country trip if you want to join us.
Dude, yes.
Freaking go, dude.
Wine country in November.
So because so we only have a couple of months, like, because it's kind of like a last minute trip thing because it's November 7th it starts to the 10th. So we have to close off the trip at a certain point. So we're going to close the trip for signups next Friday. And we're going to do a live, right? Did we say we were going to do a live event where we're going to do like a Zoom call and kind of go over more of the details about the trip? And it's an opportunity if you have questions, if you're curious, if you just want to hear a little bit more about what we're going to do, then jump on and come hang out with us. So we'll be sending out the details about that in our email. So make sure you're on our email list. I'm actually going to send out an email probably tomorrow or this weekend. So be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on.
So I thought we could start with just kind of like life in Colorado, like Colorado updates.
Okay.
So, so we're staying till December for sure.
No, I guess that is a new update.
Because that's kind of the saga, right? Is like, how long are we staying? How long? I think we talked about you possibly taking an internal contract, and that didn't work out right now the way that we wanted it to. And so basically, I'm PRN, so I can obviously stay indefinitely, forever, whatever, it doesn't matter. And you just signed on for another 3-month contract. So we leave for Mexico in a couple of weeks, and then you'll come back and work till the end of December.
December 19th, yeah.
So we'll definitely be here through then. I think, because you can stay technically until June as a traveler.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what we're hoping. Is like you'll just keep staying as a traveler, and then like we'll kind of look at things next year and go from there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously trying to stay as long as possible. I really wish I was in a position to just go PRN. That's kind of like what my goal would be.
The goal would be to do that next year.
Yeah.
But right now it's like make that travel money, milk that shit as long as possible, and then go PRN. That's kind of like where we're leaning towards, and then we can just stay indefinitely and just figure it out from there. But that's kind of where we're at as far as staying in Colorado. So we just got an email saying our lease is up on the 19th of November. So we kind of figure out what we're going to do with that.
That's funny because if we just did one more month, that's December 19th. But
right, because we always have the option to go month to month.
Yeah, but I don't have to move out on the day that my last day of my contract, so that wouldn't work.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be your last day of your contract.
It won't.
So it makes sense for us to like renew.
Totally.
So anyways, you got to figure that out.
Yes. But it's been awesome. We've hit as many 14ers as we possibly can, which I think is the really cool thing here. And it's funny because the last 14er we did, oh my gosh, Quandary Peak. And I was hiking up and it's like, why did we do these? Like, really? Like, why do we do these? And then you get to the top and you get down and you're just like, oh, that's why. Like the feeling you get after you've just like woken up early, completed something hard, and then enjoying it at a brewery in Breckenridge.
So I feel like you're completely jumped ahead of the story.
Okay.
So So much to say about that.
I mean, I jumped ahead of the story in your head.
Yeah, because there's a
Your story.
You're telling out the story. So, so much to say about that because
Go ahead.
no, but let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
So we went and did a birthday weekend in Breckenridge to celebrate Mr. Pup's birthday.
Yep.
And which was such an awesome weekend.
It really was.
It was so good.
I really think we've pinpointed our getaway weekends. Remember how like a lot of times we get away and you're just kind of like, okay, that was cool. It was fun. But it, like, I don't know, that one, like...
Well, because it was all the things we love. Like, we drove up to Breckenridge, which was only like an hour and 45 minutes from us, which is like so awesome, right? So we made it a weekend thing because we knew we wanted to do the 14er, which you typically start those, well, you do start those earlier. So we didn't want to have to drive almost 2 hours, then do the 14er, then drive home. So we're like, let's make it a weekend thing. We've never been to Breckenridge. And hour and 45 minutes, which is just so, I know I say it all the time, but I love living here. Like the fact that we live so close to all these little mountain towns, like Breckenridge, Vale, Aspen, Golden, Glenwood Springs, like Telluride, Telluride's like 6 hours away, but Idaho Falls. No, Idaho Falls is in Idaho, but we always get them confused. But anyways, we live so close to all these amazing places that we are just like a weekend trip. Like we were sitting there in Breckenridge, like looking at the mountains. And we're like, people were flying in, right, to come here and to do this whole, Colorado mountain thing, whatever. And Breckenridge was on their stop. And we're like, we like live here. It's our backyard. We just drove up for the weekend. We could drive up anytime we wanted to. Like, I don't know, like for me, it's just surreal. Like we get to live here, which has always been, it's been a dream of ours for a few years now. So just the fact that we're actually doing it, it was kind of one of those pinch me moments of like, this is why I want to live here. Like, I love this. Do you have anything to say about that?
No.
Okay. So I think what made the weekend awesome is just was a mix of all the things we love. So exploring a new place, love. We stayed in a great location, walkable to everything. So we parked the car and we could just like walk around. It had the hiking, the activity, which we love because like we get out, we're active, and then, going to a brewery afterwards and all. Like, I feel like it was just a mix. We're in the mountains. We're like, it's everything that we love. Sitting outside. It was beautiful weather. I'm like, what else is there?
We rode the gondola up and just like hung out at the top of Peak 8, like beautiful resort, just sitting outside, having a cup of coffee, sitting in an Adirondacks chair, overlooking the slopes and people coming down on mountain bikes, and just really cool.
Yeah.
It
was just the perfect weekend. And then, so the first day we got there, we went, so we arranged or organized the trip where like we got there on Saturday. And we were just kind of exploring and chilling on Saturday. And then Sunday was the day we're doing the 14er. And the 14er, you want to start at 5 a.m. because the rule of thumb is you want to be off the peak by noon because that's when storms roll in. And like, you don't want to be on like an exposed, granite mountain.
At 14,000 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so that's kind of the rule of thumb, right? So you want to start early. Plus it gets hot. So like you don't want to be hiking when it's hot, whatever. It just like tires you. So that's kind of the plan. So we're like, okay, Saturday we'll explore. Sunday we're waking up at the butt crack of dawn. We're going to do our 14er and then we're going to go to a brewery afterwards. So that was kind of the plan. And then Saturday we got there and we just like walked around and we sat outside at this amazing little place. Shout out Kenosha, right? It was all the vibes.
Literally back porch, Mimi allowed like a big back deck, which was nice. And it said best back deck in Breckenridge.
And it
really was. I mean, there was umbrellas, there was space. Like Mimi, we had a little corner. There was tons of hummingbirds flying around. And the food was amazing. And they just had local beers on tap. And Kim got a hold of a strawberry jalapeno margarita.
Watermelon.
Watermelon.
Which A watermelon jalapeno margarita is my weakness. My and it was skinny. My absolute favorite thing. And I was like, I'm not going to drink, you know, like we've talked about this. So like, we're not really drinking when we're home, whatever, but we will when we're for like traveling or if it's something cool. I was like, I don't think I'm really going to drink because we're waking up early tomorrow. I know we have a 14er. And then it was early too. It was
not even 2 p.m.
Yeah. And it was just like that vibe, right? It was just kind of that outdoor, you're on vacation feeling. And it was a beautiful day. We were just chatting. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have one. So I had one. And it was so freaking good. So then I had another one. And ended up having 2 margaritas. You had a couple beers.
3 beers.
3 beers. And then we did a 5 milligram edible. We were out of control. I was like, I felt pretty tipsy because of the 2 drinks, because we don't drink that much anymore. Like it doesn't take much. And then with the edible, like I was just laughing. And
remember you tried to get in the jacuzzi, but there was like people in there.
Like hiding.
We were hiding.
They were like staring at us they could see us through the window.
Yeah.
Like they probably heard us talking about them.
There was a lot of people in the jacuzzi and it just wasn't the vibe.
Well, there were kids and they were obnoxious.
Jumping around and
So we like sat at the lunch place and I found some questions. You guys know we love questions. So I found some like fun birthday questions, which kind of are just reflective and fun. And so that opened up a whole can of like conversation. And so we just sat there and like talked for a few hours. And then we're like, let's go in the hot tub. And then we get back and that was a bust. So we ended up just like going back to our room and ordering that freaking pizza and those garlic. Oh my God, we tore. You would have thought, and because we were high, I'm sorry, but like, why does food taste so much better when you're high? It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, by far, this is the best pizza.
It was good.
And those garlic bread things you got. Oh my God.
I didn't order, babe.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Because remember, I told you to get me a snickerdoodle cookie. So I thought the box was this big ass snickerdoodle cookie, and it wasn't. Yeah. It was the garlic bread.
Because you said get cheesy bread with side.
No, I didn't say that. You just heard that in your own head.
Maybe. It
was
a good voice.
It was amazing. We were like asleep by 8 o'clock. Okay.
Were we?
Yes. It was, I think it was 7:45. It was bright outside.
Huh. I just remember watching the Amy Bradshaw or whatever.
That was the next day. We watched an episode of The Blind Spot.
No, we watched that Amy Brad.
No, we didn't.
Missing.
We watched that the next night when we were eating cup of noodle soup.
Hey, real quick, we hope you're loving today's episode and we wanted to take a moment to keep you in the loop. If you work in healthcare, or you're a healthcare traveler, or you know someone who works in healthcare and is interested in fun adventure travel, you've got to know about our Travsessed Adventure Trips. And listen, we get it. Working in healthcare can feel really demanding, overwhelming, and stressful. We spend so much time taking care of others that we forget to take care of ourselves.
So let us take care of you on a Travsessed trip. Once you sign up for a trip, we literally take care of everything. The planning, the logistics, and all the little details. So all you have to do is show up, have fun, and make unforgettable memories with a group of like-minded, adventurous travel friends. This is your time to step away from the chaos, recharge, have some fun, and come back feeling like the best version of you. Everyone who comes on a Travsessed trip says you come as strangers, leave as family. Literally. Travsessed trips have sparked dozens of new friendships, adventure squads, and travel soulmates that last way beyond the trip.
And honestly, it's not about the places we go. It's about the amazing people you meet along the way. We personally plan every itinerary based on our own travel adventures, so we have been there, done that, and know all the best things to do and see that you would not find on your own. Plus, we've got some awesome local friends on the ground to help us make each trip extra fun, special, and totally unique. Our trips are for active adventurers who like to get out of their comfort zones and push their limits. And the best part? We keep our groups small and intimate so you can form real connections like really, really fast.
So if you're ready to ditch the planning stress, find your adventure crew, and travel like never before, head over to imtravsessed.com and grab your spot on one of our next adventures.
That's imtravsessed.com.
Or you can send us a DM over on Instagram at Kim and Aaron G.
That is KIMANDERRANG.
Just DM us the word adventure and we can chat more about it. You can also find our Instagram, our website. Everything is linked in the show notes below. Also, at the time of this recording, we have 3 spots left to join us in Oaxaca, Mexico in 2025, which honestly is one of our favorite trips. Yeah. So you can head over to our website, check that out. And we also have so many more fun adventures coming your way in 2026.
We cannot wait to see you on one of our life-changing trips. Now let's dive back into the episode.
Oh, I just remember falling asleep on both nights.
Yeah, we were in bed before 8 p.m. And because we were like, we're leaving. Our goal was to leave at 4:30 so that we could be at the trailhead by 5. Okay, that didn't happen.
No. Well, I think too, like, we also came off a hellacious week of work. I mean, everybody at work agreed. Like, we were all talking, and I'm like, this has just been a crazy week. And it was just like across the board. Like ultrasound, IR, X-ray, like CT, everybody was just like, what is happening? And so it just felt heavy and tiring. So then you're in a huge, comfortable suite, mountain views, like big king bed, comfortable. The Marriott is very known for their mattresses and their pillows. And I just was like, the room was cold.
No, it wasn't. It was hot.
Okay,
I didn't sleep a wink.
Okay.
I was up all night having night terrors, trying to rip off the screens and open the windows because I was so hot.
Okay, babe.
So I feel like that was part of the reason I didn't get up. I didn't want to wake up the next morning because I didn't sleep at all.
Okay.
I was pacing around the room.
What?
Oh my gosh, I told you this.
I know, but you left out the pacing around the room.
Well, because I wasn't, but I would get up to go to the bathroom.
I mean, I did wake up and the screen was like sitting on the floor, and I'm like, what happened?
I couldn't open the freaking window. It was like these little handles that were, I don't know, there was a technique to it. There was something.
You undo the handle.
I couldn't do it. And I didn't want to turn on the lights because I didn't want to wake you up. So I was also trying to navigate this in the pitch black. Okay. And I think I was still high. Because when you're sleeping and you've been high, but you wake up and you're like, what?
Sure.
I don't know. That's how I felt. Just zombie-like.
Okay.
So alarm goes off at 4:30 and I was like, oh, fuck, dude.
I don't even think I heard that one.
Well, and you know my weakness. What's my weakness?
Cuddling.
Yep. When you come in with those big old beefy arms and wrap them around me, like you're signaling to me that you aren't getting out of bed and you're trying to get me to stay in bed because you know I will. Like, that's my weakness. As soon as you come in with those arms, like, done. Nothing else matters. Like, I'm going back to sleep. Okay. So you knew exactly what you were doing.
It felt comfortable.
Yeah. It was like, I finally feel like I got comfortable. I was like sleeping well. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go do this, dude. Like, because it's not like, oh, like we're just going to let's go do a little hike. Like, it's a 14. It's so hard. Okay. We didn't even know how hard it was going to be. And I'm like, I don't really want to do this. So then we're kind of like, contemplating like, okay, should we do it tomorrow before we drive home? So then, and I know, and like finally we're like, no, because
I knew for a fact, because I was looking forward to the post hike, like brewery. And I knew there was no way we were going to go to the brewery and then drive home. And I also wanted to have a night post hike to just chill, and have that sense of accomplishment and just kind of know we came here and did what we said we were going to do, and then enjoyed our day on Monday and woke up and had a slow morning. That was something I was really excited about, not having anywhere to go for one day, because we woke up relatively early with the thought of like, we need to get to Breckenridge. Like, let's get there early. Let's not dilly dally. And so it just, Monday was kind of the first morning that we had that we didn't have anything to really do.
Yeah. Right. So we're laying there like contemplating, and I knew, I'm like, you just know something, like, you know, when you're gonna regret something and you're gonna be disappointed in yourself. And like, I just knew. So I was like, okay, we have to get up. So we didn't end up getting to the trailhead till 8. I think we started at 8.
We started walking at like 7:57, something like around that
so
time.
8.
Yeah, but like,
We wanted to get there at 5.
right. So we're already 3 hours behind.
And the worst part, because the other 2 14ers we did start around 5. Like, we started, I think with Ellen and C, we started at like
7.
7. Okay. The one we started at 5. Like, it was still dark out. And that was the best feeling, because you make it to the summit in a couple hours, right? So you're coming back down at 8, right? And so then you're passing people who are going up, and it's like that feeling of like, haha, we're already done. Like, there's just anyone who hikes, like, you just know that's the best feeling. And so now it's 8 and we're going up, and then there's people coming down, and I was just like, oh, like that. Oh, I was like so pissed.
You were on the struggle bus, dude.
I was on the struggle bus. I was really struggling, and I don't know if it was because of the drugs and alcohol the night before, or like the not sleeping well. I didn't feel great. Like, I felt super nauseous. I felt really dizzy. Like, you know how you feel at higher altitude, which, you know, I don't really experience. I don't really struggle that much with the altitude stuff. And so, like, that's kind of how I felt. Like, I was on the struggle bus with the altitude. Like, I felt really dizzy. I felt nauseous. I felt like every step I took felt challenging, and I just couldn't click into the hike. And there was a part that I was just like, buddy, I don't know if I can keep going.
Yeah, that was the point that I was like, wow, am I going to actually finish this without you? And you're going to sit on a rock and like wait for me to come down?
Just like cry and eat my snacks.
Like, I really thought, and then I was like, well, that sucks. Like, we have this sign.
I know.
It was for my birthday, and we wanted to like finish this one. But then there's always going to be that asterisk on this mountain that I did it and you didn't.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing with me too, is I knew there was that moment that I'm like, fuck, dude, like, I don't know. But then I'm like, there's zero, like, I'm going. I'll get there somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept like mentally giving myself pep talks on like, you can do this. You're capable of doing hard things. Like, your body is more than like, you're fine. Like, your body is strong. It's fit. It's done this so many times. Like, your body's good. Like, the mind needs to wake up and like change gears, because I knew I was physically fine. Oh, also I was like having issues with my leg. It kept jamming up in my knee, which is weird because that hasn't happened to me in a long time. Like, I get this weird sciatica thing. I don't know if it's actually sciatica. I just call it that, but it's like my tailbone, which isn't your sciatica, I don't think, right? I don't know.
I mean, it can radiate.
It like shoots up
your buttock.
Yeah, okay. And that hasn't happened in a long time, so like that was really painful. Anyway, I was just on the struggle bus, and it was...
Yeah, you were grumpy Gus for a while.
Yeah. Well, we reached the fall summit. Okay, so like, you know, so a fall summit is basically, it looks like the summit, like you've made it, but then you don't see from like back that there's actually another summit, but you didn't see that. So you think where you're headed is the summit. And I thought it was. And I'm like, okay, that wasn't that hard. That's what I was thinking. And then you get up there and you realize, holy shit, we have a whole another climb to do.
Yeah. And that particular climb was in 0.9 of a mile. It was 1350 of elevation. And then another 0.8 at 1100 feet of elevation. So you still had 1.7 to go with almost like 2,400 feet of elevation.
Yeah, it was hard. And so we made it to the fall summit. And again, I was already struggling. So I made it. I'm like, hell yeah. Like that was tough. And this trail felt tough. Okay. To me, I felt like,
I thought the trail was awesome.
okay, let me start over, because the trail itself from the other 14ers we've done was great because it was very easy to follow. So some 14ers, the scramble, like the rock, there's always a rock scramble to the top of the summit. Like that's just the thing with the 14er. You're always going to have that. And the other two we did, it was hard to find the trail, and it was like kind of bouldering, like, and you had to use your hands, and you're kind of like, where do we go? Like you were trying to find the right path up. This hike, Quandary Peak, the trail was very apparent. Like there was no trickiness. There was not a lot of bouldering. There wasn't a lot of rock scrambling. So in that way, it was easy, right? There wasn't a lot of exposure. Like didn't feel that scary. It was just like trail, right? And then, but why I felt like it was hard, because they kept saying, like, I feel like this was one of the hardest hikes we've ever done. And I think one has to do with how I was feeling. But I also think with this particular hike, it was pretty much up the entire time. There was no like flattening out. It was straight up and it was straight down. So that was tough. It's like from the get, you're climb. And then those last couple of miles is all rock.
Yeah.
So it's loose gravel, which is hard because I feel like that's also very mental. It's physical, but it's mental because you're like making sure every step is, like not loose, like solid, right?
Totally.
So I felt like those couple of miles were really hard at the top. And then just that last climb to the summit was like, it was relentless. I don't think I have ever experienced a climb like that where, I don't know, I just felt like it was so hard.
I think it all had to do with how you felt.
You don't feel like that?
No.
You really don't feel like that?
No.
Because we were both like, are we ever, and those two guys who were with us, like we had to keep stopping. Like I'm usually not somebody who stops a lot when I'm like summiting something, because I just like want to get there. Like we all kept stopping and we're like, oh my God, like, are we ever gonna get there?
I think it was a really good test of mindset. That's the only 14er that I've ever, there's some that are like, not a lot of mindset involved. It's like physical, right? You just get to the top, like it is what it is. This one it just never felt like you were getting there. And so there's a mental thing of like, I just kind of pushed, and then I look up and I'm not any closer. And it just felt like we were on a treadmill, and you're just like looking at the summit and you're like, I've already walked like, and then on top of that, you got all trails, or, all the whatever, saying that it's a 3-mile hike. Even on the board, when you first enter the hike, it says Quandary Peak 3 miles.
Lies.
But
lies
like,
from the devil.
Both my phone and my watch, which are pretty accurate, put us at 4.5 to the top, which takes a 6-mile hike and turns it into a 9-mile hike.
Well, right. And so you're right about the mental piece, because that was also a huge part of it. It's like, I prepared for 3 miles. 3 miles up. Okay, cool. I can click into 3 miles. Like, let's go, right? 3 miles up, 3 miles down. When we reached the fall summit, it was 3 miles.
3.1.
And we still had we had the hardest climb ahead of us.
1.5 to go, yeah.
So I was just like, this is bullshit, because in my mind, I'm thinking we're there. Like 3 miles, we're there. We're almost there. And then when you realize you're not, that I think mentally makes it hard.
Well, and then plus I was saying too, like it was kind of the perfect storm. Like you didn't feel good. And then because we started at 8, I had this push mentality because I didn't know how long it was going to take us, based off of like the terrain and what if a storm rolls in, and I was constantly looking at, the clouds around. And so I really wanted to reach the peak. I didn't want it to be one of those things that because we slept in, we got stormed out and we couldn't do it. I just wanted to finish it.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of pushing. And so I realized that if I wasn't pushing, like every time we stopped and then went again, it didn't feel that difficult to me. But I wasn't feeling the same way you were.
Yeah.
So I thought it was quite easy. Like,
shut up.
On the grand scheme of things, there's no such thing as an easy 14er. Are you going to be out of breath? Are they going to be tough? Yes. But in the scheme of it, like, if I wasn't thinking about trying to get to the top before 11 o'clock and I thought there was a huge rock scramble, which those are mentally like, because I did learn from one of the nurses I work with, she's hiked all 58 14ers. And she said Quandary is a rock scramble at the top, and then I asked her about it because I'm like, how do you know where to go? And she was like, oh, if there's a rock scramble, there's no path. You're kind of on your own. You find your own way to the top. And I always thought that there was a distinct path you're supposed to follow. But when we did Bierstadt, remember everybody was just kind of like all over the place and like people are coming out from the side and the other side. And like, I was like,
and it was
am I
icy and shit?
am I on the right,
like
am I on the right path? And then I started to feel nervous because I don't trust myself. Like, what if I went the wrong way and end up in some like place that I can't get myself out of? Like, so I always want to go where I know people went to get to the top. But I learned that that's not a thing, right? There's no one path. So I was expecting another rock scramble. And with you not feeling good, there was a lot of mental taxing going on. But if you really look back at that with the path that it is, yes, it was one of the highest incline gains within the mileage for a class 2 14er in Colorado.
It was like almost 4,000 feet of elevation gain, wasn't it?
It was 3,600 feet total.
Okay.
3,400 feet total.
Yeah.
And the majority of it was in the last 1.7.
Yeah. Right. It's funny though, because, you know, like you said, with the whole, it's like there's that reel or I say reel, like a TikTok, whatever, that is, it's about like hiking in general, you know, and it's like, you know, the reality and like the person's going up and like, you know, this sucks and I'm tired and I'm this and I'm that. And they're like, like I hate this.
Hiking's horrible.
Because there was a point when I was like, I hate all of this. I hate this. Why do we do this? Like, why are we doing this? And it's so true, right? When it's hard and you're just like, why are we doing this?
Electively.
Right. And then, but then she gets to the top and she's like, oh my God, she's having her snack. She's like, this is amazing. I love hiking. I'm like, there was even somebody talking about it when we were hiking up to the summit. She was saying like, how quickly you forget, right? Like when you make it to the summit, you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is what it's all about. Like the views, the accomplishment, like you're so proud of yourself. You're taking it all in. You're surrounded by mountains. You're like, this is why we do this, right? And like you forget how bad that just sucked like 10 minutes ago, right? And like how bad you were like struggling. And you're like, oh my God, I love hiking so much. It's so amazing, you know? Nothing is more true than that.
I need to learn what people do because I hate going back down. I just really wish I could climb it and then zip line down.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like you've already done the path.
Yeah.
And then it always feels at the end, like I always do this and I'm going to stop doing it from now on. Where I'm like, I swear it's just right around the next couple turns.
You did that the whole time. I'm like, oh my God.
But then I actually said that I'm going to stop doing that because I feel that like I'm wrong and it really doesn't matter. The end will be here when the end gets here.
Yeah.
Which was crazy because when Kim and I got to the end, a mountain rescue guy passed us with an EMS person. And then we get to the end and the truck pulls up with the entire team and they had like baskets and they were doing their pep talks. And he's like, let's go to work. And they all jumped out. And I learned at my work that the majority of them are volunteers.
Fuck that shit.
They volunteer to do that. That's crazy to me. And the people that we passed, the people that were struggling, it was a lady and a dog. and it was a German
And
Shepherd.
we didn't know that they were struggling.
And the German Shepherd didn't look, he wasn't panting. He was
we saw him coming down from the summit.
Yeah. He was literally laying on a jacket and sitting up, wasn't panting. It was just sitting there. So I was like, oh, cool. But I heard them say SOS on their phones. They were trying to like reach out. And I didn't know if maybe somebody was just tired or whatever it was, but it didn't look like they were in distress. And there was people around them. So we just like kept going. And then they asked us where they were.
So the mountain rescue people,
Yeah.
when we got down, they were heading up. And so they asked us, like, did you see them? And we're like, yeah. And they were like at the fall summit. Like, I can't even imagine these people with all the gear, all the stuff they had to carry up, and how far that hike was and how hard that was. I'm like, oh my gosh, Godspeed, dude.
They had like 2 hours.
And then they had to they're going to have to carry the dog down.
And the lady.
And the lady. We weren't sure what was going on with the lady, and her husband was with her, but I think her husband was fine, they said. But yeah, I'm like, that's insane. Because that was hard enough putting one foot in front of the other.
Okay.
Can you imagine carrying a human down from that?
Adrenaline.
Yeah, and I guess like you have a team around you, they had different stuff, but yeah, I was like, and you know, I'm part of the 14ers Facebook group. And so people are always like posting in there about like mountain rescues, or they helped with like a search and rescue and stuff. And it's like, there's search and rescue on these mountains like every single day. And, you know, it's so important too, is like people underestimate these 14ers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not just a quote unquote normal hike. Like they're hard and you have to be prepared. So like you're on a mountain. We know mountain weather is crazy. They make their own weather. So it's like having like, there was somebody had posted that like, you know, they were hiking in like tennis shoes and then like a cotton, I always tell you, like a cotton fucking sweatshirt. And cotton absorbs moisture. You're going to be freezing, right? It's not drying. It's going to stay wet. And like it had rained and she was freezing cold and just like shaking because she couldn't warm herself up. She didn't have any other layers. So he had to like take it off, give her something warm. Like he was a guide who was with other people who stopped to like help her. Like, and it's just like, be prepared. Like do some research and be prepared. Like have the right layers, have rain gear, wear the proper layers, have water, have snacks. Like, you know, hiking at high altitude is hard. And so like people get themselves in these situations that they're not prepared for, they've never done before. And then, you know, they have to call for help. And that's really scary.
No, it is. And I mean, it's crazy. They just say like, there's a stat and all this stuff. And everybody, like the people I work with are all either part of the EMS rescue or have volunteered part of that. They don't do the hiking up, but they've been you remember how there was a bunch of them at the base waiting? There was like an EMS, like Jeff, one of the nurses I work with. He's like, yeah, that's where I am. I'm down there. I wait for them to come. You go get them, and then I'll take care of them when they come down. But he said it's mainly volunteer. And then a couple of the other people that hike 14ers are like, they come in the hospital a lot, and people they fly in. They're like, let's do this. People said it's cool, and they don't have any gear. They haven't done any research. And they get into trouble, and they don't download all trails. They don't know how to like stay on a hiking path, and like they get cliffed out, or it's super dangerous.
Yeah,
and like,
it is.
You can't underestimate it. And I think that's the big.
Well, and I think a lot of people come in and they're coming from sea level and then they're going to hike a 14er. Like we know planning Travsessed trips, we always give ourselves time before we actually start the hike so we can acclimatize. It's so important, you know? It's like, I love the mountains but they're like nothing to play with. I can't imagine. So Quandary Peak, did I tell you this already? That's the mountain we hiked, Quandary Peak. So there was a rescue.
Yeah, where they slept on the side of the
mountain.
mountain.
It was a son and his dad.
But they went the west loop.
They went a different route. I guess they like got turned around. They went a different route, which remember I was saying, I was like, I want to make sure we're on the right route because also with 14ers, like there's different scales. So like there's one or scale class 1 to 5. And so like 1 and 2s of what we've been doing. And it's like, it's not super technical where like you start moving into 3s and it's like there's higher exposure, which means higher drop offs. You can get yourself clipped out, which means there's nowhere else you can go. Sometimes you need ropes, harnesses, different things like that. And so sometimes one mountain could be a class 1, but you do a different trail and it ends up being like a class 4, right? So you want to make sure you're on the right trail.
Which is what Erin was telling me at work. She was saying there's always another trail. So you might be doing what they consider a class 4 or a class 5, but there's a class 3 trail up there. It might take you longer, but there's a class 3 to get there or a class 2 to get there. It's not always a 5. And that's what she said, that she stays away from. It needs ropes, but she's hiked all 58 of them.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, I don't have any interest in doing something that has crazy exposure and drop-offs. And like, honestly, like, because I read a lot about them, like, I'm like figuring out the next one we're going to do and whatever. And like, it's not something you mess around with. Like a lot, like if like you step wrong, like you're dead or you're severely injured. Like, it's not like funny or like, oh, just go give it a whirl. I think, like, I just don't think you mess around with that kind of stuff. Like, you have to feel really confident if you're going to put yourself in a situation like that.
Or you go with somebody that's super experienced and can walk you through the right path to take and also what's coming up and what to do and how to like get around it.
Yeah. I just don't have any interest in like rock climbing, which a lot of those scrambles, they're like, so when you start to go to 3s and up, it becomes vertical. Right. So it's not like the ones we've done have been, you've had to use your hands and things like that, but it's not like straight up vertical where you fall, you're falling.
Yeah, no, I get you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, that was the peak that a dad and son went up a different route, got turned around and cliffed themselves out, which basically just means that they got themselves in a situation that there was nowhere they could go and they're on the side of a cliff and they couldn't get out. And so they had to call search and rescue and it was too dangerous to get them out. So like the guy from search and rescue slept with them that night to like make sure that they were okay. And then they were able to leave he helped get them out the next morning. I'm like, I can't imagine one thing more terrifying than that. Like sleeping in the pitch black on the side of a mountain.
Well, I don't think I would sleep.
Yeah, but having to stay like on a cliff. Oh my God. I'm just like, that's so scary.
It'd be the longest night of your life.
Oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, it was a hard hike, but I also kept just thinking like one foot in front of the other. This is great training for Kilimanjaro because, Kilimanjaro, that summit day, everyone just says it's so grueling. It's the hardest thing you're going to do. Now, granted, we haven't done it yet, so I'm not sure, but it's brutal and it's all mindset. I mean, it's physical too, but it's a lot of mindset. And so you really have to like train yourself. And so I kept saying, okay, like the last thing you want to do right now is like be here. And this feels really hard, but you're capable. You can do it. One foot in front of the other. And eventually you're going to get there. And so I kept just like talking to myself in that way. And like, eventually I did. And I just felt like that was a really good practice for like my mind. Cause that would have been very easy. Like, fuck it. Like, I don't want to do this. There's nothing to prove. No reason I had to do it, but I wanted to like do it to prove it to myself that I could do it,
Yeah.
So it was a great hike. I kind of want to like redo it when I feel better and see like, do I really think it was that hard? Because I'm firm that was the hardest hike I've ever done. Harder than any other hike I've done. Harder than Everest. Like I didn't feel like that one time hiking to Everest Base Camp. Granted, we didn't hike down, so I don't know that full thing. But hiking up, which usually hiking up is very hard, to Everest Base Camp, I never once felt like I did on that peak.
I want to put this into context for you to think through. There are times that we go to F45 and all you want to do is lay in bed.
Yeah.
You did not want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll come out into the car and you're like, I'm glad I did it, but that was the hardest workout I've ever done. But then a lot of these workouts are on repetitive. We do the same kind of thing, the same style.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next week, you're like, that was my favorite workout ever.
Yeah.
So do you see what I'm trying to get at here?
Yeah, it depends on how your energy is going into it.
Correct.
Yeah, for sure.
And look at Tongaria in New Zealand.
Oh my God. I want to redo that.
Like you were sick.
I had COVID.
You were the first COVID patient ever. Like, and then our shoes were horrible.
Yeah.
And our feet were bleeding. And it's like, so that hike seemed horrible.
Yeah.
Right? But like, I guarantee you we go do that again and we're up and down in like no time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I would like to do it again. And that's right. I think, you know, now being in Colorado, like hiking these 14ers has kind of become like a hobby of ours of like, okay, I want to do as many as possible, right? Like, because the more you do them, the more confident you feel, the more like empowered you feel, the more you're like, dang, like this is fucking cool, you know, like we can do this and it's beautiful. So it's all of it. But I feel like they're kind of a metaphor for life. And just the way of like, you know, sometimes things feel really hard, you know, and you're just like, dude, like, I don't want to do this, or this feels so hard right now. Like, why am I doing this? And it's like, you kind of just have to mentally get you're into that space of just like, okay, one step at a time, like you got this, you can do this, you can handle this, you're capable of everything. Like you're capable of anything you put your mind to, just one tiny little step at a time. And eventually you get to the other side of whatever felt hard. And then you're like, oh yeah, that wasn't that hard. That was awesome. And then like you feel good again. And that, you know, and like then you run into another challenge.
But you also build confidence within that time frame. And no matter what happens in life, even when it's rough, right? You get on the other side and you build some sort of confidence like, wow, I got through that. And if you're not going to use hindsight as in your favor, right? They're always like, hindsight 2020. Like, I hate that because I think hindsight's our biggest teacher. Yeah. Because we're like, dude, I struggled through that and I remember how that felt, but I came out on the other side and I'm fine. So I can get through hard things, right? And like, I actually kind of enjoy them. Look at what I did and look at how I came out and look at what turned. And I also will add to your, one thing I really like about the 14ers too is you're standing at the bottom. And this has like business and life kind of mixed in between. At least this is what I take. Mm-hmm. All right, stay with me. If I'm off, you might have to narrate for the people what I'm trying to say because you're always good at that.
I speak Bobby.
Yeah. But like I always look up and there's people standing at the peak, right? They are quote unquote higher than me or farther than me, right? And then you're like, I'll never get there. Like, there's no way. Like, holy crap, look how far we've already come. And like, we got that far to go. But there's people up there, yay, taking their pictures and celebrating, living the high life, about to come down being, we know the feeling they have at the top, right? Mm-hmm. I'm on the struggle bus and I know how far I have to go. But then you realize that those people walked the same steps I did. They just did it before me, right? And so to me, looking down and looking up at them being like, man, I'll never get there, right? And in life, we do that. We chase people, right? Look at them, look what they've done. Like, I'll never get there. And it feels hard to reach that. But then you realize they took the same steps. You just never saw those steps. Mm-hmm. So all you see is them at the top. So then you get up there too and you're like, look at me. Like, I'm here too. Like, I walked those same steps and I got here on my own time. Mm-hmm. So it's always a big kind of motivator for me when you reach the top and you're like, damn, I was looking down. I always try to look up and stare at the people that are up there and be like, you're there now, but I'm coming. Like, I'll be there too. And like, you took the same steps I did. I'm going to take the same steps and I'm going to feel that way soon. You know, and it always just kind of pumps me up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I love that. And it's just the one step, the next right step, the next, whatever that is, like whether it's life or hiking or anything you're doing, it's just like, okay, the next right step, the next right step, the next right step, whatever that is, slowly but surely, take the break, take a sip of water. Like, get your mind right, gather your thoughts. I had to pep talk myself the whole time. Like you have to pep talk yourself in life. Like there's things that are hard in life. Like, you know, if you're going into a job you don't like, or, you know, like a relation, like there's so many different things that you have to like take a moment. You have to reflect, you have to think, you have to give yourself pep talks. And then you just got to put the next step.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you get there.
And I love that too, because not everybody's journey is the same too, but you're still reaching the same destination. Like you might have to take more water breaks, or you might have to stop more, or you might have to sit down for a little bit. Like, and maybe some people don't. Like, but everybody's path is different to get there, but they still get there.
Yeah.
And that's what's like
at
really
their own
cool.
time,
in their
own way. And I just think hiking is such a metaphor for life in general, you know, and, you know, even with Nancy, when we did our ceremony at the top of, when we were in Peru at the highest peak, and she was saying, you know, the Inca Trail, hiking in general, like a metaphor for life, like it's hard, but like you're capable, like life is hard, but like you have everything you need to like navigate this life and to get yourself on the other side and be stronger on the other side. And like, don't forget to have gratitude. And I kept gratitude for where you are right now, being present, being grateful for where you are, your body, your legs, your mind, your heart, like everything is here with you, supporting you. Like, don't lose sight of that, especially when things are hard. Like you're capable of moving through this. And I kept reminding myself of that too, when I was struggling, of like looking up and just being like, girl, like you're in Colorado hiking. This is what you love. This is like, you've dreamt of doing this for so long. Like, look where you are, surrounded by mountains. There's like lake behind you. Like you're, you know, doing something that you love with the person you love in a state you love, and you're so grateful to live in, and your legs are strong and your power. Like, remember where you are. Remember what you're doing.
We were fortunate enough to take a weekend off.
Oh my God.
Go to Breckenridge.
And be in Breckenridge. And like,
totally.
Oh my God.
We're going to a brewery after.
Yeah. Like it's so hard to do sometimes in the moment, but it really is powerful. And it's a great mindset, like play. And then I kept just imagining ourselves, you know, having that beer. And I'm like, that feels so far from where I currently am.
Beer and burger, that was my focus.
But then the next thing, time is really freaking me out. But because we had to do the whole hike and the whole thing, but then the next thing I knew, I felt like we were at Breckenridge Brewery having a beer, and I'm like, and it was all over, and I'm like, well, how the hell did we get here? You know?
Totally.
And I will say, at the top of that summit, because again, you know, we're at 14,285 feet. 65. You're high. And this was the most beautiful summit we've ever had, where, because it's cold and windy, and like because you're like hot getting up there. That was the other thing. I think that was another reason why I struggled, was because we started so late. It was hot. I don't do well in heat. Like, so you're like hot climbing up there, but then you get to the summit and it's like freezing and it's windy and you're like shaking and you have to put all your layers back on. You're like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like what was the one that was literally like 60-mile-an-hour winds? Like I was like, this is insane. Like, yeah, I'm like, we need to get down. But on the top of Quandary Peak, it was sunny. Quiet. And it wasn't that windy, and it was just like
there wasn't warm. A lot of people up there.
Yeah, it was like, I was like, wow, this is the most beautiful summit experience, where we actually sat at the summit. We ate, because I always pack peanut butter and jelly and apples and all the things. We ate, we took our pictures, and we just chilled up there for a little bit, which usually we like run down from the summit and then sit down a little bit lower where it's not as windy. But we were able to just like chill up there. And that was like such a cool moment.
Yeah, took pictures and did our videos.
And you meet cool people.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like, I feel like it's kind of like that community, the 14er community. Like, because the thing is, like, people take pictures with their cardboard signs and it says like the 14er you done. And you put like, it's our third one. You put the date. And then it's like sparks conversation, and people are like, oh, like, how many have you done? How many have you done? Like, and we met this cool couple that told us about another
couple
one.
More to do.
Yeah. And so I don't know. It's just a cool vibe. Like, there's nothing else I want to do on a weekend. You know, like I love that we live in a state that our weekend is like, let's go do a hike. Let's go have like a fun lunch afterwards or go to a brewery afterwards, be in a beautiful place. And like, that's what we get to do on the weekend. I love that. I just think it's so cool.
Totally.
Also, lastly, we'll leave it at this. But when we took the gondola up the next day, and it was the top where people get the lifts to go to the slopes. And it's crazy because like it's obviously all grass. I'm like, in a couple months this is going to be snow. That's weird. But you know, we've been together for 18 years, and I think we've said almost every year that we've been together, or at least almost every year, like this is going to be the year I'm going to learn how to ski. I'm going to, you know, take lessons, and we're going to do a ski trip because you already know how to ski.
I don't not just know how to ski. I absolutely love skiing.
Mm-hmm.
That is like one of my, I mean, it's a different level of love. Like it was something that living in Florida, I never got to do. And my aunt and uncle would go, my uncle was an orthopedic traumatologist, and he would go do talks in Utah, and they would take me skiing, and I would be my aunt's buddy while my uncle was giving his talks and stuff. And then he would meet us after. And it just was so special. And I always looked at it as like, what do you call it? Just an appreciation for like where I was and what I was doing. And then the sport of it and being outside and the slopes and the beauty, and then the lunch and I always dreamed about doing it on my own when I could afford my own and be able to go down and have a beer or, you know, have a drink at lunch and like just enjoy being outside. So anyway, it's a high level for me.
Yeah. And so every year we would never do it because it's expensive. And so then we'd be like, oh, we'll do something else. Like, you know, and so year after year after year, we've still never done it together. And then so sitting up there and seeing the slopes, that was cool because you can see like where they're going to be. And we're like, okay, like if we're going to live in Colorado, like this is something that I really want to do. Like I want to get lessons and I want to go because I know I'm going to love it too. And I just feel like that's something really cool that we get to do together that's active, right, in nature, but also has like the fun lunch aspect of it, which we both love. Being in like a beautiful place. So I feel like this could be finally 18 years later, the year that we finally do our ski trip.
Well, I mean, and I think one of the biggest things that I've always said is I never wanted to take you somewhere cool like that for you to learn, because then you have to spend 3 days struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to lunch with our friends, Derek and Jessica, and they were like, oh, Jessica took indoor ski lessons here in Colorado. They have indoor, like revolving, like slopes where you get to learn how to ski. So you're not trying to jump on a ski lift and like messing everybody up and like trying to figure out how to pizza down. Like it's just, you get to actually become decent without any pressure. Mm-hmm. And then there's like bleachers and like I can go watch and hang out and like be there and like for you, you know, while you're doing the ski lesson, unless you wouldn't want me to, but it's like a really cool thing.
I don't think I want you to.
I also like, it hit me. You and I travel and we love traveling, and we were like, let's do scuba diving. And we realized you couldn't do scuba diving because you had a hole in your heart. So like, we're like, all right, well, that's not a hobby we could do. You don't like golf. So cool. Then it hit me, skiing. Mm-hmm. We could literally ski all around the world and go to cool places and ski. And like, what a cool hobby.
I'm in, bro.
To do together. Like, I love that.
Hell
Japan, yeah. Switzerland. Like, I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
France, Germany, like, amazing. Whistler, Utah. Like, we could just go. Tahoe. Like, we could just hit ski areas.
Yeah, that would be so cool. I'm in. So we'll see. Maybe this will be the year. Got to do some lessons and get out there. But it did get me really excited. And now it's like we live here, where I think before it was like, oh, well, for us to like fly to Colorado, and it was like so expensive. Or now it's like we live here, right? So, and also how fun to experience the summer or the winter, right? To be able to like have something you can get out and do, because we don't do as much hiking. At least we don't, like higher altitude hiking, because of all the snow and stuff, which I know people do, but we're not equipped for that. So yeah, to be able to get out and go skiing and snowshoeing and stuff, and tubing. I'm excited.
Just can't wait to buy all of our gear, like our new crampons and our snowshoes and just
our hot
things.
pink goggles.
And yeah.
I love that for us.
All right, buddy.
All right, well, let's roll, man.
All right, cool.
All right, we will
be back next week.
We will see you next week.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope that you really, really enjoyed it.
And if you did love this episode, can you please do us a huge favor and just share this with one of your friends? Like, just somebody that you think will get value from this episode. It would mean so much to us.
Yeah, like do it now. Like while you're inspired, go now.
Like right this second.
Yeah,
go. Or just like share it on your Instagram story and tag us at Kim and Aaron G so that we can see it and thank you personally for helping us share this message, share this episode, and blow this baby up.
Yeah, help spread the obsession.
Ooh.
You can do that.
Let's get obsessed.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much. We are so grateful to be on this journey with you, and we will see you next week.
Bye.